Got some deals over here. This is the first deal we're gonna get to. This is from an antiques dealer. This is the second thing he sent me. The first deal was like $3 grand. So let's open it up. Okay. So we came up with 2,600 bucks for all this stuff. I'm gonna message him and see if we have a deal. You guys might remember I bought a bunch of Soviet pins. So I bought those from one individual who escaped the Soviet Union as a kid, like his family came over here. But then I have another customer who, same story, he's actually the same age, he's from Ukraine. And he was in yesterday and he noticed all the Soviet pins and he went through and he labeled all of them for me because the other guy who sold me didn't do that. So like these ones here are like Russian cartoons. Like he said, what's this one called? Cheburashka? Cheburashka was the alligator. Different Soviet cartoons. This is Soviet, like Winnie the Pooh. Soviet Mickey Mouse. Ha-ha, you can't sue us for copyright infringement in a communist dictatorship. Ha-ha. I never asked what this one was. I like to think this one's like a Russian constipation commercial. It's like something you'd see in a commercial for constipation. This one is the Ukrainian riverboat fleet. These are a bunch of Ukraine specific ones like Odessa and Crimea, Kiev. These are Communist Party assembly pins. He said the most expensive collectible stuff is the official stuff, like this one right here. This is an official October Kids Communist Organization pin. This is the city of Ulyanovsky. Ulyanovsky, I think he said. It was like Lenin's party nickname, apparently, is what it's named after. Lenin's car. These are like different like Soviet cars. I mean, I could have figured that one out. This one's like a Soviet, like some kind of a military pin. I think he said he thought this one was for a lieutenant. Bunch of victory over the Nazis stuff. Yeah, so these are cool. I finally know what these are. The problem is it took time to put them all here and I don't want to just rip them all off, and like I don't know how I would safely relocate these without the headache of taking a picture and doing it meticulously. So I'm trying to blow this out. I've sold about half of these, alas. Something kind of interesting happened last night, you guys. So, end of the day, Julia takes off. My other guy is getting ready to get out of here. He's finishing up a deal with someone else. I've been having him do like the smaller deals just to get practice. And I'm standing here doing some stuff on the computer and this guy walks in. And he looks like if I was a casting director looking for like a scumbag pickpocket out of 1989 New York, it'd be this guy, like greasy leather jacket, balding, lots of gold bling, just like kind of gross about him. So he comes in and like his eyes like kind of light up when he sees me and he starts talking to me and we're talking about gold bullion. He wants to know about investing and I'm giving him the spiel that I give everyone. But as we're talking, we switch to cryptocurrency and he's asking me questions and I like talking about cryptocurrency. So I'm giving him answers. But then these like basic questions that he's asking as if he knows nothing, he suddenly knows how to keep the conversation going and he's asking more advanced questions on what I'm saying. Like he clearly knows the answers to these questions and he's just asking me questions to either do one of three things. You only ask questions if you know the answers, if you're trying to get laid, if you're trying to distract somebody, or if you're trying to size somebody up and test them. I think he's just trying to test me to see if I know what I'm talking about, or like if I can talk with confidence about the shit that I'm selling and what I'm talking about. So then he first wants to see some gold, and I put 3 10th-ounce gold eagles in his hands, and he's looking at them, and as he's moving, I don't like this guy right away. Number one, he's eye-fucking the shit out of me, and it's not just me. Like, I know when I'm getting eye-fucked, and so I'm thinking that asking me the questions is to just keep the conversation going, because he's like enjoying hitting on me or something. I don't know. Getting kind of a creepy vibe from him, but I'm watching his hands and there's something slimy that I don't like about the way that he's moving, and then he gives them back to me after, I think he was waiting to see if I turn my back or something, because I start watching him like a hawk. So put the gold back, close the case so he can't quickly reach over. And then he asks about junk silver. And so I'm showing him, I got this bucket here, stuff I bought yesterday, and I hadn't really counted it up. And I had, these are 1 ounces here. I have them all kind of sitting over here. And I got shit all over the table here because I didn't clean up. We were busy and I guess this was my mistake. And again, the way that he's moving, there's something going on. I'm thinking, okay, what's going on with this guy? Go over here, he's asking me more questions. We continue the conversation over here. He's here for about 10 minutes and then he leaves. And I say to my other guy, I don't like that. And he's like, you don't like that guy? I go, no, something about him rubbed me the wrong way. Let's watch the camera footage. So we're watching the camera footage. So he's got the bucket here, right? And he dumps it out right here. And there's 7. One just fell right down there. There's 7 coins here, right? But then when he puts them away, there's 6. And so then he puts this back. But then watch what he's doing here. Okay, you see that? I'll play it again. Boom. Right there, that's a switch. It's gone. At least I think it's gone. This guy's good enough, it's really fucking hard to tell, and that's why I'm covering his face, because I definitively can't prove if he did or didn't do it. My bad for not counting it, but I mean, just the way this guy was moving, yeah, this guy's movements are the mark of a pro. Now you guys might remember episode 17, I think it was, of Pawn Man. The episode's called 666, where I buy the goat skull. In that episode, I uploaded the camera footage from the Armenian heist, and those guys, if you watch the way that they move, this is a telltale sign of a pro. When you watch the hands, lots of touching yourself, lots of smooth move. I mean, not like this, but smooth movements, being able to slide something from here into your pocket, but make it, you know, look like you did something else. Quick flip of hands, changing stuff, controlling of the situation was the other telltale sign. And God damn it, I should have known this is what he was doing. And I'm glad that I had this lesson for so cheap, because this guy could have stolen a lot more, and now I need to be on the lookout for this in the future. So here's what I think he stole. I think he stole 1 ounce of silver, and I think he stole 1 junk Benjamin Franklin. So I lost $34 on that. So for $34, I got a lesson to fucking be on the lookout for that shit, and to trust my gut and not take my eye off anyone, and to not leave shit sitting on my counter like this, because it's frustrating. But the thing is though, again, you guys, I'm not 100% sure that he did, because I didn't count it, and I didn't definitively see it on camera because he was that good. I just am 95% sure. It looked like, it's kind of hard to see on camera, it looked like 7 of these went out, since 6 went back in, and I did tally these. I had 11 of these. I haven't sold any of these. I bought these yesterday, and now I have 10 of them. So, yeah. And if he comes back again, I'm gonna fuck with him. I'm gonna see if I can maybe bait him to steal a fake ounce of gold, and then I'll get his license plate, and because he did drive here, and unfortunately my cameras didn't pick it up, but next time he drives here, I'll just step out and I'll write down his license plate too. I don't think he knows about my YouTube. He didn't take my card and didn't seem to know anything. The next time, Evan gonna show you his dick, and you don't wanna see his dick. Well, not everyone thinks that. So I got a whole mountain of proof sets in front of me, and we're separating them by what are the good ones and what are the bad ones. $10.25.
Sounds wonderful.
All right, cash or check. This is a good score. This is, you know, unfortunately, I'm very low on money. I mean, I always say very low on money, but I spent, guess how much money I spent last night on Nazi medals? I mean, I told you
$6,000.
I spent $6,000 this weekend on vintage Nazi medals. I got a little carried away, and this morning I looked at my bank statement, I was like, oh, yeah, maybe I shouldn't smoke and drink and be on eBay.
Yeah, be careful.
So anyway, but here's what we bought. Monday morning, starting it out right. These Ike dollars are dog shit, but I only paid $1.10 on them. I'm gonna throw them on eBay on lots of like, I'll last $2 each on them. So we got these, and then the next guy, oh, we also have some sterling silver. 56.6. So we'll make probably about 120 on the sterling. We own all the Ikes for free. And then I paid a medium price of about $4.25. These ones are the worst. These ones are the best. I'll probably get 10 to 15 bucks on these. I'll get 20 to 30 bucks on these. I'll get $8 a set on these. I'll get $6 on these. I'll get 10 bucks on each of these and $8 on these. I got $4.50 into all of these. I'll probably double my money. So just like that, walking in, there's people, we're making money. That's how we do things here, right?
That's how we do things here.
Yeah. Got some clad Nazi coins that just came in. Check these out. Paying $2.15 each for these. They're clad Nazi or Third Reich era coins from, looks like most of them are from the 40s. There's 160 of them here. So I'm gonna just pay what I'm paying, you know, $2 something, and then I'm gonna charge $3.25. So probably make about 150, 200 bucks in this deal. They're not great. Like, this is bad. Like, he just like drew a swastika on them himself. Like that wasn't necessary. You didn't have to do that. May I,
Oh yeah. Help yourself.
Wow. Oh, shit. This sword here looks to be their idea of a Western saber, but with Japanese making, because you can see the waves. This right here, these waves here comes from the forging process, and if you get a really shitty sword, it's like triangles. But if you get a good sword like this, you can just see the beautiful waves. This is like a blood groove right here.
Yep.
So in Samurai, when you would draw, you could throw your blood off the blade because blood will ruin the blade. And these little grooves here will help you throw the blood off the blade.
Sure.
So this is a mix of Western imperialization and Western technology meets Eastern technology and Japanese sword making. I fucking cannot imagine how expensive this is. Holy shit, where'd you get it?
My grandfather.
Oh, that's right, you said he killed an officer and took it?
Yeah, here's the...
Oh, you got the flag too.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I don't know what all that is, but...
I think, I don't know for sure, but these look to be names. So
Yeah.
I'm thinking this is like everybody in the unit, like, signed the flag.
Well, or his family.
Or his family, yeah, for good luck. I couldn't even give you an estimate of how much this would cost. I have no idea. Thousands and thousands of dollars. If you don't mind, let me just take some photo and video of it.
Well, sure.
Because I want to show this off. If I went and put this flag over my grandma's headstone, her ghost would rise. It would be pretty. You guys remember our last episode of Pawn Man, we talked about coin grading, and we had something kind of interesting happen with our eBay that's relevant to what we talked about. So I sold a 1921D Morgan silver dollar, and I put it auction starting bid $1. It was, of my opinion, it was of uncirculated condition. That's what I put. But it was like starting bid $1, right? So if you're gonna overbid on something, or if you're gonna get zealous with your bidding and you end up paying too much, like I have in the past, I mean, that's just how eBay goes. So anyway, okay, so I sold this thing for 58 bucks. I sent it off, and then this was probably about a month and a half ago we sold this. The person sent the coin in for grading, and it came back AU 58 clean. 58, as we remember, is as high as AU or about uncirculated gets on the Shelton grading scale. So, you know, just below being uncirculated. Now, they were pissed because the coin had been cleaned and because it came back AU and not MS, which would be 60 or higher. And because I sold the coin as uncirculated, and therefore I lied about what the coin actually was. Now, I countered with that, and I don't feel bad about this, because coin grading, as we've covered, is a subjective art. It is an opinion. The professional companies, PCGS, NGC, ANACS, these graders are trying to make it a science. But it is an art, it is a speculation. You are grading, you are judging something. You may see something that someone does not, or the other way around. It is totally subjective. So had I sold that coin as being a grade, a particular grade, then I would have been dishonest, because I don't have the authority to designate an exact score. But the word uncirculated is just an adjective. It's just a descriptor of the coin. It was of my opinion, looking at that coin, that it was in uncirculated condition. That was the opinion that I sold the coin under. Now, the fact that the authority had something different to say, I can't control that. I'm not responsible for what they say, and I didn't sell it as an exact grade. Had I have done that, would have been dishonest, but I stand by what I did. Coin grading is a subjective art. Every single coin that I have sent into PCGS, I have not gotten back the score I thought, but I just thought it was interesting that that would come up just a week after we talked about coin grading. Now let's look at these right here. This is a coin that I bought in a deal. I think I found this. Somebody specifically asked me my opinion of the grade of this coin. So number one, this is a proof-like coin. It is not a deep mirror proof-like because I can't see my reflection 12 inches out and beyond, but I can see my reflection at 6 inches out. It's not just the plastic. You see how reflective these fields are, the background of the coin? So I have here an 1883 MS63 proof-like. Now, it's a little hard to compare the two because this one has such exotic coloration with the toning, and this one has good luster, but no real good toning. But you guys see how reflective that background is like that? And you see how this has the same attribute? Looking at the reverse, very gently, similar attributes. The question is, we're gonna look at the chest feathers, we're gonna look at the eagle claws here, we're gonna look at the arrows, we're gonna look at the wings, the laurels on the side, and then on the obverse, we're mainly gonna look right here, but I'm gonna need a loop to look at this closely. Okay, so we're looking here, this is the graded one. We're looking at this hairline right here. We see some wear, just some traces of wear above the ear, very minute. And then looking over on this one, there appears to be a bit more wear above the ear on this one. Looking at the chest feathers, this is the graded one. You can see the lines, there's no scratches really, there's a little spot right there. And then on this one, Yeah, you can see all the details. What's hard about this is this coin has a stronger obverse than this coin, but this coin has a much stronger reverse than this coin. So I would call this MS62 Plus proof-like, because we judge the obverse more than the reverse. It counts more for collectors, it's what people like a little bit more. I paid $30 for this coin. I got $150 for it. I was trying to get $200, but I got an offer on 30 and 150 out. That's not bad. I was gonna send this in for grading / keep it, but I've just been so disappointed with how harshly they've been grading. I only have a few grades left, and it does get expensive, and like luckily they do stack, so if you don't use all your grades in 1 year, as long as you renew your membership, the grades stack over. But I've almost burned up now 2 years worth of grades, so I'm being frugal. So made a good profit here, but again, coin grading is so goddamn subjective. And I'm just giving my opinion. That's what I think it is if I had to grade it. I'm not selling it as that, I can't. I don't have the authority to write a score and sell it as such. Well, I could. I just think that's a really easy way to get charged for fraud. So, it's of my opinion. This is an MS62 Plus proof-like. What's going on, you guys? We're Between the Pawn. I'm Evan. Joining me is World War Wisdom. Welcome, thank you so much for your time coming by tonight. I discovered you maybe about 6 months ago or so. I think you reached out to me. I had something for sale, but I wanted like a stupid price on it.
I don't think it was just one of those things where it didn't kind of line up. But honestly, I had been watching you for like a long time before that. So this is pretty cool for me. It's like the videos come into life and I can actually talk to you. So I'm excited for this.
I'm a real person, believe it or not. I conjured up like a bad dream.
Who would have guessed?
All right, so let's get right into it. What I think is so interesting about you and your page is you spend a ridiculous amount of time at reenactments, and boy, you really sell the picture. You look just like somebody who would actually, like, I see some of your pictures of you posting, and it's like, oh God, he looks just like he was fighting. Tell me a little bit about that, because that's kind of it's a more obscure thing for younger people to be into.
Yeah, it's one of those things that more young people are getting into just kind of recently, but the hobby is kind of run by older people. That's kind of the nature of it, which is a shame because a lot of the people who were doing the fighting and stuff looked like me. They were my age or even younger in a lot of occasions. And a lot of what we do is trying to look the part and look like they did to kind of show people, both people who come to the events live and watch it and people who watch videos on my YouTube or TikTok or whatever, what those times were like to live through and what it would have been like to fight in World War II. It
seems like it's pretty epic when you all get together. I mean, how many people are participating?
It varies a lot based on the event, but some of them have, 1,000, 1,500 reenactors.
That's insane.
That's a lot.
That's awesome.
Yeah. That's for the bigger events. Some of them have far less than that, but
we'll get more to this in a bit. But you usually play an American, right?
I do.
Do you ever look at the people that are like, I want to be a German, I want to be a? Do you ever just kind of be like,
yes, sometimes yes.
Yeah, exactly.
But I will say that German reenacting is, in my opinion, as important or sometimes more important than US, because you have to have somebody to play the bad guys, and the whole point of it is to teach about the history. So learning about the bad, awful side of history is oftentimes the most important part for us to get out to this young generation. But with that being said, there's a very right and a very wrong way to do it. And unfortunately, some people go about it the wrong way or want to do it for the wrong reasons.
Your presence is World War Wisdom, but you seem to specialize more in World War II. I have a two-pronged question. Why World War II over World War I? Because it seems like, like I said, like you like World War II more than one. I mean, what's your opinion on World War I? Are you as big of a fan? And why do you think World War I is more of the forgotten war versus, we think World War, we think II?
Yeah, and that's partially because it's more recent, There are living World War II veterans, and we're still seeing the impact of World War II more than World War I. And also because I live in America. Fuck yeah! And America is much more heavily involved in the Second World War as opposed to World War I, where we kind of jumped in at the tail end for a little bit. But I got into World War II specifically. I was always into military stuff ever since I was very young. But then a good friend of mine in elementary school, his dad was a World War II reenactor. And so he started, pardon me, he started taking me to these events, and that got me hooked specifically on World War II.
So if you had to pick, so obviously we're going to focus more on World War II because that's more your area.
Yeah.
If you had to pick a certain chapter of World War II, whether it be an event, like a single thing that you would hone in on as being your favorite or most interesting event, what would that be?
This will come as no surprise to my followers, I think, but it would have to be the D-Day invasion. That's just like the scale of it and the stories that came out of it. It's just so interesting to me. And that also lines up with the fact that the biggest reenactment I do is a D-Day reenactment. So it kind of all comes together, and that's just something I'm especially interested in and have been for a long time.
Right. Quick question I forgot to ask about those reenactments. Does anyone ever get hurt?
Unfortunately, yeah. And
what happens?
well,
not ankles, like anyone like accidentally like stabbed or something like that.
It has happened. Nobody's ever like died or something at a reenactment where I have been, but obviously anytime you're taking real weapons and loading blanks into them.
Sorry to interrupt. He died in the war. No, he died in the reenactment.
Yeah. But yeah, nobody's gotten too severely hurt, but people like, fall over and dislocate their shoulder or something like that. The most common thing is like heat stroke. People get way too hot and pass out and things like that. And it's hard to tell if somebody's playing dead or if they're actually hurt.
Do you yourself collect any militaria or firearms of the era?
I collect a lot of militaria, too much. I do not have a collection of firearms yet, but that will be changing fairly soon, hopefully. I do have something relevant. I don't know when the time to bring this out is. My TikTok followers probably haven't seen this because every time I've tried to post it, it's gotten removed from TikTok. But this is, like I said, looks like a gun, but it is not a gun. This is a training version of the 1903 Springfield, and these were made by, it's called the Paris Dunn Corporation, and it was a toy company. So during the war, they started making these, and it's like, it has the action and stuff. Like you can do all the motions and it makes a click. But the barrel, like there's no barrel in here. It's solid wood and it's just kind of cheaply made. But it was for training purposes and drill and stuff like that. They obviously needed real guns on the front lines. And so they made these, and this one is marked US Navy on the back. But they use these for training purposes and stuff like that. So this is as close to a gun as I have in my collection from World War II.
I'm finally talking about this. I decided that I don't want to put any more money into it because I have a lot of money into this, and I thought of this about a month ago. Long story short, I discovered this rare kind of coin, or like I learned about it, and I thought, oh, I bet I could drive the price up with my social media following because there's not very many of them, and I did. Quite a bit. I made them go from $150 to $500. So I started looking around thinking, well, what else could I do that with? Because the boat sailed too early on that one. I only got my hands on a few, and then I talked about it, and then the price ran away. Long story short, PCGS grades Third Reich medals and tokens. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
I did not know that either until about a month ago, and I gasped, and I realized, oh, there it is. Right there. And not only that, just based on the amount that I have bid on and how the bidding is going, it's only old people that know about this. There's like no young people that know about this because nobody bid snipes, and that's something that only young people do. So I have been building a collection of tokens and medals from the Third Reich, and I have about $9,000 into it so far.
Wow.
Let me show you what I have so far.
Yeah, I'd love to see
I've been
it.
keeping this under wraps, but I guess I'll tell everyone what I'm doing because I don't want to put any more money into this. And like I said, I have quite a collection I have built up. So there's not many of these out there. Each of these is different. Some of these are more expensive than other ones. And some of them are like in German, so I have to like look them up. I have them here in front of me. Okay, so this is a German anniversary flight silver medal, 1936 for piloting. It says Kaiser on it.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So I don't know how many of these are out there. I would think very few. It's got like, it's weird. It has like the Ferrari horse right here. I don't know how well you can see that.
Yeah.
I have, this one's my favorite. I'm gonna have a hell of a time selling this one. Right now, this is my most expensive. I'm asking 1,500 on it. This is a Luftwaffe technician medal. And it's got Hermann Goring on the obverse. And then on the reverse, it has the eagle with the swastika.
Wow.
It's a big fucker.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about some what ifs, because that's one of my favorite topics of discussion. And although it is just purely speculative, we don't know one way or another. There's a lot of what ifs. There's a lot of minute things that if they would have gone slightly different one way or another, example, Hitler having acted at Dunkirk and wiping out all those forces pinned against the ocean, different war. What do you think is the biggest what if moment that is so minute and yet had such grave consequences for the war effort one way or another?
One of them, the first thing that comes to mind, and this is one that's often cited, I'm not like breaking anything new out here, but it's Erwin Rommel's treatment of D-Day and how he wasn't the one there controlling it when it first happened. And a lot of people say, like, you know, he would have counterattacked and pushed them back into the sea. I don't think that's necessarily true. Like, I don't think we would have lost if that were the case, but it would have been a very different battle if that would have happened and if he would have executed kind of the plan he wanted. And also, if he had kind of more time in his role beefing up the Atlantic Wall, like the way things were going there, I think that could have changed a lot. So Rommel and D-Day, if things would have played out differently there, we could have seen a different outcome. And with how D-Day, how important that was to the rest of the war, yeah, I think that could have changed a few things.
Do you think the Axis were doomed from the get-go, or do you think that there was a scenario they could have played differently that would have made the war unfold in their favor?
I think they were doomed pretty much from the get-go as soon as other countries, like the only scenario in which they wouldn't be is if somehow the other countries, like on the Allies, like the US, and maybe if they never went against the Soviet Union, like a situation like that, maybe things could have played out differently. But with the way the sides were stacked, I don't see a situation where the war would have ended in their favor, especially with, you know, Adolf Hitler in power and the other generals, like you mentioned, Goring. I don't think there's a situation where those guys were going to come out on top.
What does the world look like if they had one?
Are you saying like one just in Europe, or maybe like invaded the
Well, there's no
mainland
way, you know,
US?
it's kind of like with the Civil War too. This is a fun question I like to pose at bars is, you know, what if the South had won? I don't think the South says, okay, you stay over there on your lawn, we got our lawn. I think they would have just kept pushing and conquered the whole U.S.
I agree.
So same with the Third Reich and the Empire of Japan. They would have just kept pushing and conquered the world.
Yeah, and I think a situation like that, with the way, I mean, when you look at the situation in Germany towards the end of the war, things were deteriorating very quickly, and not just because they were losing. So I think stretching that regime out even longer and expanding to more land with the issues they were already having, I think we would have had a lot of, you know, economic issues and issues in every aspect of life if they were to take over, you know, big pieces of land like they were.
I want to end on one more thought provoker that is a bit of controversy, and that question to you, and I have a lot to say about this. Did Hitler get away?
No, he died. He died straight up.
0%.
I would say maybe not 0%, but I would say maybe close to 0. Close enough to 0 that I'm ready to say absolutely he's dead, and he's been dead, and he died in the bunker, and that's that. That's my take.
75-25, I think.
That's interesting.
75% he got, or 75% he died, 25% he got away. Number 1, no body. Number 2, Joseph Mengele. I wish they would have found a body.
Yeah.
Is my conclusion with that. The whole world would have slept a little bit better seeing a body. It's fun. It's not fun, that's not the right word, but it's interesting to think about the what ifs. The what ifs can go on all day. But thankfully, it's not a world of what ifs, and the Nazis and the Japanese did not win World War II. And here I am, And here you are.
Yeah. Yeah, if you couldn't tell.
More of your time. Did you have anything you wanted to add or plug?
Oh, yeah. Follow me on TikTok at World War Wisdom. If you're interested in World War II reenacting, and I post about history and stuff there too, follow my YouTube channel where I've been posting a bunch of reenactment videos and POV reenactments where I'm shooting at Germans and stuff like that. So definitely check that out. And then if you want to see pictures from reenactments and stuff like that, follow my Instagram. It's World War Wisdom there too. So yeah, find me.
Awesome. You guys, that's World War Wisdom. Please go follow him and thank him. Follow me as well. I'm at Pawn Man and at Evan Kale on social media. If you guys like this video, be sure you give it a thumbs up, hit the notification button so you guys know when new episodes of Pawn Man are coming out. Become a Pawn Man Patreon. Every dollar I get goes toward improving my YouTube show. Get my books on Amazon, and I'll see you guys back here for another episode of Pawn Man. Later, guys.